fitness here in week 4. Absolute exhaustion after this event 5 chipper. What is left in your body on the final day of competition?
No matter what they came to do, they're trying to find greatness in themselves, and that's the byproduct of it. You got to reach. You start to really know who you are and have honest conversations. Can I do this? Can I finish? These people are doing everything they can to do this.
But except for heat 3 of women's event number 5 here in the 514. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Mike Arsenault is a resident Canadian. He's performing the floor for us. Adrian Conway is the CrossFit Games champion. I'm just Joel. Glad to have you along with us here this afternoon. We just said 5 women in the CrossFit Games. The men's side is a little bit tighter, a little bit more definitive for 2 days of competition for the women. However, Erin O'Donnell has been in the CrossFit Games before in 2019. I would count her out just 44 points back. We saw 35 points already evaporate on the team side.
Yeah, you can get ready. They don't take long. She's got a chance. She's got to do something right here in this workout today.
Event number 5 is brought to us by R2 Recovery. We got a no chipper.
We do. We're going to open up with 20 calories on the Echo Bike, advance to 200 double unders, followed by 100-foot handstand walk, 100 wall balls, 14 pounds, 100 GHD sit-ups, another 100-foot handstand walk, 200 more double unders, and then they're finishing with whatever they got on that Echo Bike for 20 calories. It's a 22-minute time cap.
Tell people how to get 40% off trifecta.
Oh, I can tell them. They can use the code CrossFit in order to do that. And that's going to be tied directly into our recipes for success, which are brought to you by Trifecta. And it's simple and straightforward. They need to reserve and conserve. Pace the front half of this workout in order to finish very strong. But the whole time on these handstand walks, it's a whole football field. You got to toe the line, stay just under your threshold.
Emma Lawson is your leader overall at 17 years of age. Youngest competitor in the semifinal field, men or women, and she about to go win the darn thing.
Yeah, I can't wait to really watch this long workout from her and how she puts a game plan into play for longer tests. Getting to work on this Echo Bike. Nothing to be stressed about. You know, you pace this accordingly, you conserve energy in your legs and your arms, you breathe easy, and allow this again to be the Kickstarter.
We just talked about Erin O'Donnell. No one has told us otherwise, but that is her bike that was sitting unoccupied. So Erin O'Donnell right now, the event has started, is a scratch, and that certainly changes the standings. It makes Tori Dyson the next chaser, 75 points out of a qualifying spot.
So that lengthens the gap, of course, that these ladies are feeling threatened by, if at all they were already. You gotta wonder why. What's the whole story there?
Well, Mike, also check in on that one for us. For the 2019 CrossFit Games competitor, she finished 50th back in 2019. Hands in the air here for the bike. 20 counts for all these ladies.
Yeah, we got heat 3 here with the elites, the ones that we predict to be in the fight for the top finishes of events. But we can't forget the finish by Savage all the way back in heat 1. She put on a clinic on how to actually transcend the floor here, move from side to side, do it smooth. And I think it's going to be a tough time to beat. But I will say, I believe there are a couple ladies here within this heat that have the high work capacity and the ability to get inverted on their hands to attack it confidently enough to challenge that time.
Guys, I have the update on lane 8, Erin O'Donnell. She withdrew because of an injury, potentially upper body. That is unconfirmed, but she is now out of the competition.
You hate to see that as we look at that empty lane just sitting there. You got to think, we don't get many opportunities as CrossFit competitors to actually throw down and make it count. You know, you get the Open, you get the quarterfinals, you get the semifinals, you get the CrossFit Games. In a whole year, that's 4 opportunities if you make it the full season, and we know only a very select few make it to the CrossFit Games. So to watch an athlete have to withdraw is heartbreaking. It's something that you never want to see happen, but we know it's certainly a part of the pursuit of being an athlete. We hope all the best for her, and hopefully she heals fast and recruits for another opportunity to be out on the floor.
Now, who that is good news for, and that sounds weird, is Allison Scudds right there in the middle of your screen, because 6th, 7th, and 8th place finishers advanced to the online last chance qualifier for a last chance to the CrossFit Games. Allison Scudds came in 10th place. Well, now she is 9th because Erin O'Donnell has withdrawn from this competition, and Scudds is now 1 spot behind Elena Buds, 9 points behind Elena Buds to keep her season alive. Here's your leaders, Lawson and Powers left and right, both in this heat and overall.
Yeah, both the young bucks with the eye of the tiger, trying to stay smooth and steady on these double unders as they're getting ready to advance to the first handstand walk just after this. You're thinking, keep the elbows tight. Jump easy, only as much as you have to. And allow yourself to feel ready.
Tori Dyson actually beats both of those ladies to the handstand walk. Pink shorts, top of your screen.
But look at the speed from Paige Powers.
Oh, she's flying.
She's using those long limbs that she does have to cover great ground each and every stride. That's impressive.
You know what she looks like? Handstand walking. Haley Adams.
How ironic.
And they train at the same affiliate down in CrossFit Mayhem, but the way that she uses those legs, the speed with which she moves.
You know who else does that? Mr. Rich Cronin. You might learn a thing or two, I guess, if you stay in the presence of people that are pretty fit. It's not just that you get to get your butt kicked every day. You take some lessons from it.
Well, and did you ask Paige Powers that question about how do you have a measure of success when you're getting your tail kicked every day because you're training in such high-level competition?
Yeah, and it takes a unique and special mindset. We're looking at some of the most elite females in the entire world when it comes to playing this sport of CrossFit. And Paige is in a gym where she gets her butt kicked on a regular basis. How do you tell yourself the story that I am improving, I am making gains? That's a unique athlete right there that is growth mindset enough to know that she doesn't need to win every day in order to know that she's going to have the opportunity to win on the floor.
It's like success dysmorphia. You think you're not as good as you really are because you're training with the best every day. But then you come to a competition like this, and here you are, 2nd overall on these 100 wall balls for Powers and Wilson. 19 and 17 years of age on the right and left of your screen. The future of CrossFit as a sport.
And we're watching 2 different styles of wall ball again. Paige leaving her hands over her head, Emma dropping them quick.
Talking more about Emma Lawson. How did she get here? Oh, we've got our coach for that, Mike Arsenault.
This weekend, as well as Jack Farlow, and they belong to the same gym, the same affiliate, CrossFit PSC in Southern Ontario, Cambridge, Ontario. I'm joined by their coach, Josh Woolley. What is it in the water in Cambridge, Ontario that producing top-notch athletes at such a young age?
That's a good question. I don't know if there's anything necessarily in the water, but just a lot of hard work. It's a really good environment to train at for CrossFit PSC. They also have a team here, so like Nikki Kane are the owners. They do whatever they can to help out Jack and Emma, so it's really just a team effort. And, Emma and Jack put in a lot of work, but yeah, there's a lot of people supporting.
What makes Emma so special? We know she started focusing on her CrossFit competition career at 13, just 4 years ago. What is it about her that makes her so successful at such a young age?
Yeah, she has the training ability to kind of just turn off her mind and go into the pain game, as people like to say. But she's also a very smart competitor. Young, and it's one of those things that usually takes time to teach. But yeah, very, very, very smart athlete. And she has a very, very high window to plateau. There's still lots of room there for growth. And she's constantly looking to improve and to learn. So,
Josh, I appreciate the analysis. I'll let you put your coach hat back on.
thank you very much.
Thanks to Josh and thanks to Mike. Hey, everybody comes from somewhere, Adrian. If you're thinking at home watching this, I can't do anything that these ladies are doing. When Emma Lawson got into CrossFit, she saw a barbell for the first time, thought that the plates on each side were permanent. She didn't know that you could switch them out so that you could change the weight of the barbell. Obviously you can. She learned that very early on and has learned how to put a lot of weight on both sides of the barbell. From there to winning a semifinal, which she's in line to do.
She has, and I'll tell you what, it takes a mind. It takes a special mindset to be great at this sport. And if you're watching from home and you think, hey, I could never do anything like that, well, if you're confident in your ability to work, and you also enjoy suffering, the way that the coach just alluded that we know she can handle, that's one of the aspects that's very key. People often ask, like, hey, man, CrossFit, you guys are pretty humble, for being the best in the world or something. I said, well, you show up for a sport every day that you get punched in the face for, pretty much, because you've got to enjoy suffering to be at this level. It's It's a whole approach of being humbled every day.
Lawson has fallen behind the pace of Paige Powers by about 50 feet right now on the handstand walk, not exactly 50 feet. So Lawson will begin her handstand walk as Powers is on the return lap in the lane right next to her.
Again, look at those strides by Powers. Still the confidence. We know they get inverted a lot under that main hip. Umbrella there. They love GHDs and they love handstand walks. So I don't believe this movement here is going to slow down her progress at all.
Back to the glute hand developer. Lawson will head there next as soon as she completes this 50-foot handstand walk.
Emma also has a very smooth stride. Legs almost matching the movement in the hands every time her left hand makes progress, her right foot moves, and vice versa.
And Lawson taking a break. He just did 100 wall balls, which is basically a weighted ball thruster. So your shoulders have just taken a huge brunt of load, looking up a world in handstand. So Powers has a little bit of an advantage here. Came in 12 points back to start the day in second place, with a first, a seventh, a second, and a third place finish for the first 4 events. Lady of the Ring.
Pacing even matters on these GHD setups when you're doing 100 of them total. You have just a significant cycle rate that can be a little bit slower than another. Really starts to add up. Look at this long event they're going through. 20 calories on the Echo, 200 dubs. Their rate now, we're starting to see a lot of them get to the GHD sit-ups where they've got to do 100 of these things, and then we're really getting rolling with the back half of the workout.
That's kind of sick to think about, that we haven't gotten rolling with the back half of the workout yet. Look at that score to beat for Elena Savage. 16:35 is the score to beat. That's incredible considering how much work we just showed you is left. I would not be surprised if Savage's Heat 1 score not only stands up as the time to beat, but as your event win.
She has a chance. Paige Powers is moving fast. If she can keep up the speed of the handstand walks, I like her chances.
It's also tough to know exactly where she is on the GHDs.
Oh yeah, we're clueless. We hear 70. Hey, thank you, Judge. Did you give him an earpiece earlier?
That was it, yes.
You're smooth, man. Again, steady work here. Athletes have to touch the riser and touch the pad where their feet are. Some grabbing the pad as we saw earlier, a moment of relief. Some barely tapping it with their fingers. And when you're barely tapping it with your fingers, to me, I'm looking at, hey, you mean business because you're just trying to get back down faster. You're not looking for rest. You're here to set an event record and get a W.
If you need to recover after all of this, hey, visit drinko2.com, $25 free. Or to scan the QR code on your screen, drink O2 Recovery. Final 4 reps here for Paige Powers.
And Paige is put on a clinic right now. This pace and the smoothness that she's executing, very much confident here. Let's watch this transition here, because this is where we're really going to know. What's the pause like? How long will she wait before she gets upside down? Because Emma's not going to be long behind her. And let me tell you what. Wow. Immediately kicks up, same body posture, a little bit of side-to-side movement, but it doesn't shake her. Look at her fingers, how they're spread onto the floor, creating a greater surface area for more balance. It's like she's done this a time or two.
And Powers is now way ahead of Lawson, who is not yet on her final 5 reps. They got to the GHD not far behind one another. Powers is going to be a full movement ahead as she heads to the double unders before Lawson even comes off of the GHD. With still plenty of time to go before that 16:35 time to beat by Elena Savage in Heat 1. And you were right on that one. Paige Powers is going to hunt that down. And now 4 more reps of the GHD for Lawson.
And here's the temptation for Paige. It's like, what's in this pace? Where do I need to stay? She's not worried about Elena Savage. She's not even necessarily worried about her first place. But from a young competitor, you know what fires me up and what I like to team. Let's go get a win. Do what you can to take the dub. Leave the rest of these ladies in the dust. Make a statement. Create momentum for the rest of your season.
16:35 is the time to beat. The next time is 18:52. So we got a lot of wiggle room for all of the women in this heat.
Emma's still looking strong. Just like Paige. Right? We are so far deep into this workout. The local muscle fatigue, the breathing rate of these young ladies, for their ability to stay so cool, calm, and collected, and still execute.
And that's Power's third, I think, break on the double unders. I don't know if anybody necessarily broke on their first 100. This is her first set of 100 on her second set of 200 here. And I think they were more breaks of fatigue, and she tripped herself up, certainly stopping that many times that early.
Yeah, that's what happens. You feel like you're in a rhythm as we cue in there on Scuds.
Looks like Scuds just like God.
Yeah,